getting a couple of weapon showcases out of the way already, I figured we'd jump into the assault rifles now that we covered the SMGs of the M1928 as well as the MP40 from the E3 gameplay and hands-on experience that I got with Call of Duty World War II back in the middle of July. And with that said, in this one, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most timeless and classic rifles from the Call of Duty franchise, that being the M1 Garand. Now, while many people may opt for the automatic rifles here, the semi-automatic M1 Garand is one that is a very valid weapon of contention for Call of Duty World War II. And if you guys don't mind the 8 shots allotted per clip, then it is something that if you make those shots count, you can definitely do some damage here with it. But that said, once again, we're gonna be giving you guys the statistical breakdown of what I've found from the live testing that I was able to do with the gameplay, then giving you guys my thoughts, my feelings, and opinions and recommendations on the weapon, and if it is something you should end up giving a shot with the beta coming at the end of the month. So that said, let's jump into our statistical breakdown. Once again, though, a little disclaimer, because we didn't get all that much hands-on experience time, I couldn't go in and get to every single ideal situation in, say, the firing range where I could empty out every single clip, I could empty out what was needed to get those reload speeds, get the rate of fire, the damage, all that kind of stuff. But instead, with these live tests, there is some margin of error more than likely granted within that. So hopefully you guys can understand this here, and these don't necessarily serve as the most accurate, but a rough estimation here on the weapon properties themselves. But that said, jumping into it, the rate of fire as we started out with the MP40 and the M1928, that is something where I found out from the live testing that is right around 350 RPM. It could be higher, which again, it's not necessarily the most accurate thing because I couldn't pinpoint it down a time where I was completely just spamming the trigger. I got some points in which it was very close, but it still felt like there was some sort of split-second gap in between shots, but then again, I could be completely crazy. But nonetheless, it's right around that 350 RPM, which is slow compared to some versions of the M1 Garand, but I guess we'll see in time if it is the most accurate representation. The damage, though, however, is one that definitely is something that, once again, if you can make your shots accurate, this thing is a beast, because I found that it more so fell in line with the MX Garand from Black Ops 3, as well as maybe even on the lower end being comparable to that of the M1 Garand from World at War, but the damage seemed to be right around 60 HP per shot, which again, even without multipliers, is ridiculous. It's a 2-shot guaranteed at that point, but if that stands up, that is something that is insane, because I was getting 2 shots across the map with ease at some point in times when using this. So that said, it's definitely something you want to make those shots count, and with only 8 shots per end block clip, it's definitely nice that you can get up to 4 kills with that per clip, and maybe even more if somebody's damaged or you get some collateral damage or things like that. But moving over into the movement speed, it once again becomes a standard variable here with this, roughly about 0.95 or 95% of the max speed that you can end up using, which of course melees always run at 1.0. The reload speed was actually 2 different speeds because unlike some versions of the M1 Garand, you can actually reload at any point in time. You don't have to wait until the entire end block clip has been fired, and so it then warrants, of course, 2 different reload speeds, one being an empty speed of 2.5 seconds and then roughly 2 seconds with a top off, so it doesn't offer too much in the way of advantages in terms of speed, but it does end up being nice that you can reload at any point in time. Now, as for breaking away from the statistical portions of this and showing you guys how it feels, it's one that definitely, if you guys are one of the more passive players that love to play at range, this thing will be massive for you, because once again, like I said, 2 shots at range I was getting. That's incredible. That's something that if you are precise and you have the window of opportunity to end up, say, either playing a balcony or something where people can cross out in front of you, 2 shots is all you need, and that's something that you can get those off before they even realize where you are, ending up getting you a large number of kills in a short period of time. I would not recommend running around with this all that much in terms of getting in the action and being up close and personal, because only 8 shots per end block clip ends up really messing with your chances here of getting a large-scale playoff if you don't have any support from your team. So that said, it's definitely made for a little bit more of a passive approach, or something that you're playing the perimeter and looking to the inside of the map and taking people out that way. But overall, it's fantastic. I think this is going to be one of the best iterations of the M1 Garand that we've seen, and definitely a very viable option, because a lot of people ended up, from what I remember back in World at War, not using it all that much. They opted for different rifles. They opted to use different snipers if you ended up putting a scope on it. But while it was a very formidable weapon back then, I don't think those versions were as relevant as this will be in Call of Duty World War II. I see this being as a weapon that a lot of people use, and for good reason. With that said, that's where we're gonna wrap up this little showcase of the M1 Garand. hopefully you guys are hyped to use it. It's a lot of fun to get your hands on, and I honestly can't wait until the beta drops so that I can play around with it once again. But that said, with this dropping now in just under a month, it is going to be a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. What do you think of the M1 Garand? Do you think it looks great? Do you think it looks OP? Do you think it looks standard? Do you think it sucks? Whatever it may be, feel free to let me know down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with everything we have here regarding World War II, both multiplayer and zombies. Black Ops 3 with multiplayer and zombies there as well, Modern Warfare Mastered, Infinite Warfare, all that good stuff, we got you covered here up on the channel. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that is the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But all that said and out of the way, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.